The first one I would say is find somebody who writes something like what you're writing, and that's going to be your top tier of people to go headhunt. Because if they liked, so for me it was Laurel Hamilton's agent, because Laurel Hamilton was writing some urban fantasy stuff back then, and hardly anybody else was. And I said, okay, well, maybe I could, if she liked that stuff, maybe she'll like my stuff too. And the next thing is to actually get out and meet people and talk to them, and not in a I really want you to represent me sense, but to go, to go find out who they are. At the writing conference where I met Laurel's agent, and I also met the agent I'm working with now, Jen Jackson. Um, I was there, and I kind of rolled into that, and I got to meet Laurel, and we got started talking about stuff, and I started talking about Buffy and Babylon 5 because those are two of the best written shows on TV at the time, and it turned out that she was a fan as well, and so we got to talk about those shows and how much we loved them. She asked me to lunch with everybody the next day. I go to lunch the next day with like five authors, an editor, and a couple and three agents. And you know what? They liked Buffy and Babylon 5 too. So we got to talk about that. And by the end of that weekend, I'd had two agents offer to represent me. And one of them was Jen Jackson, who I'm
Crazy.
working with now. And I turned to her and I said, Jen, you rejected me. She says, I know. I said, you rejected me 2 weeks ago. She says, yeah. I said, you rejected me 2 weeks ago with a crooked photocopy of a form rejection letter. She's like, yeah, we've got an intern. He's new. And 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 I said, but you want to represent me now? She says, sure. And I said, why? Why now? She says, well, now I know that you like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and you've played the Amber Diceless role playing game.